You guys see that? 0.71. Holy moly. It went up. Like last week I did the test and it was at 0.6. And I think a good range is like 0.03 or 0 something. So this is like ridiculously high. So I'm gonna try something that I haven't tried before. So let's get into that. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I have like some terrible nasal congestion right now with pollen in there, so if you can't understand me, put on the subtitles and then you should be good. So as you can see, phosphate levels are like sky high in this tank. The corals are fine, but I feel like the coloration could be better as they were like in the beginning. I think I know what happened. I went out of town, I put the automatic feeder on and I fed twice a day. Usually I really don't feed pellets unless I'm in a rush, because pellets and like dry foods tend to have high phosphates. So if you're feeding your tank a bunch of dry foods, your phosphate levels are most likely high. So if you can feed fresh, frozen, like mice and stuff like that, and it'll do much better. So now that we know what the source of the spike of phosphate is and how we're gonna resolve that. So GFO. This is the first time I'm ever using this. GFO pretty much just eats up the phosphate and reduces levels in your tank. That's all it is. It almost looks like dirt. But you definitely have to rinse it out. If you put this in a bag and dump it in there, this brown stuff would just go like all over this tank. So rinse, bag it, put it in. It's 4 tablespoons for every 4 gallons. So this is about roughly like 16 to 18 actual gallons. For more, probably 16. So I'm gonna just go with 4 tablespoons, and they say not to like go crazy with it because you don't want to shock your tank. It gradually went up in phosphate, so you want to gradually bring it down. You don't want to just like zero it out in overnight. So 0.03, 0.05, some tanks are higher, but I think this one right now is like in the really high range with the 0.7 or the 0.71. So let's get to the process of putting some of this in this tank and helping these corals out. Alright, so everything I got is from bulk resupply. Got that. Also got these little nylon mesh, not the nylon, mesh media bags with drawstring. So what we're gonna do is put it inside the back chamber, like by the skimmer. It's pretty much the only space I have left right now. And then that's a decent amount of water flow. So, oh, look at that. This comes with 2 big ones and 2 small ones. So perfect. We're just gonna use a small one. Alright, so we probably should rinse it with RO water, but I don't want to waste so much RO water rinsing this. So tap water it is, and we will make sure all the water's gone, most of it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So directions say test the water obviously, and then if the phosphates start coming back up, or eventually will if you're not like handling the cause of it, you could add more, but in the beginning stick to the recommended dosage. And we're just gonna rinse. Oh yeah. Oh no, there's a lot. Just gonna rinse it until we see no more brown residue coming out. And that's gonna do it. Spread it out one more time. That should do it. I'm gonna let this strain for a while and take all the waters out. Maybe go through it one more time. I wouldn't like, once the water's cleared up, it's good to go. I wouldn't like start going crazy squeezing it, because you're gonna start like breaking it apart, and then you're gonna think it's still dust in there. So let's just let that strain, and I'll meet you guys at the tank. All right, so we're just gonna pop it right here. You may, depending on the size of your tank and how much are you putting in. I keep saying this, like, check your ATO sensor. So I'm putting this in, and it did. I'll go over the sensor just a bit. So that thing is just in there. The water's gonna flow through. It's gonna pass through it. So we're gonna check back in a few days. So I'm gonna test it again, and let's see if it comes down, even some. So it should. I mean, this stuff is like known to work. So I'm gonna come back and test it in like 5 days and check phosphate with the Nano checker, and let's see if this stuff works. I mean, it works. People do it all the time. I'm just for the sake of the video. And if you guys are enjoying this video, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Come on, let's go. All right, so it's been 5 days. We're gonna check it with the Nano checker. I only got one shot at this because this is my last reagent. So let's see if phosphate levels are down. All right, add C1. Make sure you wipe that glass. That's a big, unless your readings can be off. 1C2. Put the reagent in there. Do shakes, make sure everything's dissolved. I used to just click it and then it would just tell me the reading, but then you're supposed to hold on to it until the 3-minute little timer starts. Always keep that little step-by-step little guide they give you, because all these checkers have different steps and you don't want to forget how to do it. Okay, that looks good. Make sure there's no bubbles. Wipe it down one more time. All right, here we go. Hold in 3 minutes. All right, so there you go. GFO, definitely a good thing. It brings it down slowly if you do the right amount of dosing. So that's what, 0.71 to 0.48, that's 0.23. That's good. So yeah, well, 5 days, came down 0.2. So a couple more weeks, I'll check if it keeps coming down, and then once it's where I want it, then I'll probably take it out. It's a small tank, I don't want to keep like running it super clean. 0.03, so let's see. Kind of just keep testing. That's the name of the game until you get everything right. But honestly, if it wasn't for me going away and letting that automatic feeder feed it twice a day with all those pellets, I think that was a spike. Because other than that, I think I was running it at 0.03, 0.04 at the like recommended parameters. So GFO, definitely a thumbs up. If you have a size like this or whatever tank you have, just make sure to use the right dosing. You don't want to shock the tank. So this is actually a good outcome. Honestly, you didn't know what results we were gonna get. So double thumbs up. All right, so there you have it. If you're having phosphate issues, use some GFO, use the proper dosage, and it'll bring it down to what you want in a safe process. It's not gonna just shock the tank and just kind of deplete phosphate. And yeah, there's like studies out there where like high phosphates do good, low phosphates do good. So everyone's tank's different. So just check your tank, look at the tank, look at your corals, and see if they're enjoying a little more phosphate, a little less phosphate, and see how it goes. 0.71 was high, and everything is still doing fine. So I don't know like the longevity of that having high phosphate. So everything is just, every tank is different. So don't go off of like, oh, this tank is doing good because they're running this. So just remember that. At the end of the day, we're all water chemists, right? We're just testing water. That's literally what we're doing. So I will catch you guys on the next round. I am changing salt. I'm leaving Tropic Marin Pro because my elk is like super low. That's another thing, more problems, but we're gonna fix it. So I'm gonna test out Aqua Forest. Their levels of elk is a bit higher, so after mixing and stuff, so hopefully I have like above 7 and in a good range. So I'm gonna try it out and I'll show you like how I'm transitioning. I still got to do a little more research on that and how to like transition salts. But yeah, stay tuned for the next video.